Hello, this is Tom Britt. West Tennessee PBS is working hard to bring you more local shows and quality PBS programs. And they need your financial help because they don't run commercials, they rely on your support. It's easy to donate. Go to their website, westtnpbs.org, and click on the Donate tab. Your donations to Channel 11 stay local and help WLJT-TV continue their mission to be as local as possible.
I have the joy of introducing our speakers today, and they're no stranger to any of you. So today we have Kyle Spurgeon and Logan McCoy with the Jackson Greater Chamber. And Kyle is the president of our CEO, is president and CEO of the Greater Jackson Chamber. He holds a BS in Public Relations and Marketing from Murray State University. He presently serves as a member of the Tennessee Workforce Development Board. He is also a member of the United Way of Tennessee. And Kyle is a 2017 graduate of Leadership Tennessee. He is married to Melissa, and together they have 5 children, 1 very spoiled dog, and they enjoy running and traveling. And Logan serves as the Vice President of the Existing Industry and Workforce for the Greater Jackson Chamber, joining the team in 2023. He develops and strengthens industrial relationships as community and region to support the growth, solutions, and workforce development. He is a native of Jackson, Tennessee, and he graduated from Union University with a degree in political science. His hobbies include anything related to the Tennessee Vols, deer hunting, and traveling. So please join me in giving a Rotary welcome to these Greater Chamber members.
That one works.
All right, we're ready. First of all, thank you all for having us back. I know Mandy and I were here about 6 weeks ago. Logan and I are going to deliver today's presentation, and someone at my table said Kyle always brings a wingman. Well, today it is actually a wingman, because I do like to do these presentations where you just don't read something, and when you do that, it's good to have somebody else helping you with that, and so glad Logan could join me today. All you junior Rotarians, before I get started, you need to know Ashley Allison, because Jackson needs more Ashleys. I call her the Miss Jackson under 30 person, and I know you probably have several more years before you're out of that group, but she is the epitome of what we need to happen in this community, and folks that go off to college, come back here and get involved, and she does that extremely well. So all of you, and I'm kind of being serious about this, spend some time with her, because she's helping make Jackson a better place. Brad Little asked me, he said, I know I'm visiting this club today, but you need to do a joke before you get started. I've been trying to figure one out, but I also realized I know who I am. I know who I'm not. I am not the joke giver that Brad thinks that he is. So I will not be delivering a joke today. Do you want to do one? You got? Okay. I think I just did. They laughed. So got one. I'm going to go through some slides, and then we've got a little bit of new information. A lot of the folks in this room were at our annual celebration a couple of weeks ago. We're going to show you a little bit about that. We've got some new information, but this presentation will be a little bit shorter than what you're used to here from us, because I want to spend 10, 15 minutes or whenever you stop us at 1 o'clock answering questions, because to me that's where you generate the best dialogue. Just to tell you a little bit about us, we are the Greater Jackson Chamber. That is our mission statement up there. We have been accredited. That is a really distinct honor for us. I think only 174 chambers out of 7,000 in the U.S. are accredited, and about probably a quarter of those are accredited at the 5-star level. So we're literally one of the top 50 chambers in the country, and that's because we've got such a great team. We were named the Chamber of the Year last year by the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce Executives. That is the very first year that they've ever given that award. So in the future, when people win that and they look at the top, who got it first, it'll always be the Greater Jackson Chamber. Keep going. Okay, thank you. And then Memphis, EDGE is their economic development growth engine. They do the majority of the economic development work in Memphis. They awarded us the Regional Economic Development Team of the Year for the region, which includes North Mississippi, part of Arkansas and West Tennessee. We won that last year. So we had a great year winning awards. And as any of you know that have won things, those awards don't mean that we're going to be successful this year. So this year is a totally new year. These are some pictures from our annual celebration. Just to let you know, we had 665 people there, the largest annual celebration that we've ever done. And we got folks out 10 minutes early. And we could have had, paid a speaker $100,000 to come in. People wouldn't have been as happy as they were when, you get out early. And so just know we run our programs very efficiently. That one probably got to be a little bit too efficient. We actually had a little bit of extra time in there to do some things.
So last year was a presidential year, and so typically when that happens, it's pretty stagnant with our economy, with employers choosing to not invest or not create a lot of jobs. And so, but because of that, we actually did have a lot of success last year, surprisingly, compared to a lot of our peers. As you can see here, just in Jackson alone, Jackson-Madison County, a little over 425 jobs, which creates about $28 million of new income in our community. What is really important going forward is the level of capital investment. And you'll see here, just from our existing industries and new industries, nearly $375 million of capital investment. We're seeing a lot of automation going on, not a lot of headcount growth, but that requires new skill sets, upskilling a lot of employees, higher wage jobs. And so I think that's going to be really good for our community moving forward. You want to chime in here on anything?
So when you look at these numbers, and I don't have their pictures up there because you can look real close up front here. Both mayors are here. When these numbers happen and you hear us talk about team, when we say team, it's not just the greater Jackson team. It is the team Madison County. When we put our mayors in front of industrial prospects and existing industries, we absolutely kill it. Recruiting companies is all about relationships. These two guys do a great job for this community. Those are things you wouldn't see because prospect visits are confidential, but I can pull that curtain back and tell you that $369 million worth of CapEx would not have happened with these two guys helping us lead that team. So they're up front here for a reason today, and I appreciate everything that they do to help make Jackson grow. Some other folks that help make Jackson grow, many of you have probably heard me talk about this before. We've got there are 1,065 members of the chamber. 76 of those are forward Jackson investors. That means they invest anywhere from $5,000 a year to $125,000 a year in our programs. What that does, it enables us to be a chamber that functions more like a Chattanooga or a Knoxville chamber, someone in a bigger market. And it enables us to recruit companies from Japan, from Australia, from Europe, and we can be face-to-face with those folks. If it were not for this and those 76 companies up there, our chamber, we'd be really, really good at ribbon cuttings. Logan and I would probably be doing something else. Most of the rest of the team would probably be doing something else. So if you're not invested in Forward Jackson, we'd love to talk to you about that. But this is the one thing that makes us different. How many of you have asked this question, what's happening with Great Wolf Lodge? How many? Everybody please raise their hand. Yeah. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll do the next one.
AJ has seen this. I know you've been out there. Scott has. Next time anybody asks you, tell them, yes, dirt is being moved. This is the Great Wolf Lodge site.
This was 2 days ago.
Yeah, before the rains. Now, I can't tell you they made the best decision to start construction or dirt work December 2nd. We know how West Tennessee is during the winter, but this is the site, and it's under development. They have committed $12 million to site prep and final design and drawings. So by next fall, or this fall, you should see steel coming out of the ground with that project. But that is proof. If anybody asks you, I had somebody a few weeks ago that said it's not happening. I said, well, why do you think that? Well, I read it on Facebook. Yeah, that makes it the law. But this is proof that Great Wolf Lodge is happening. Remember, that project will bring 500,000 people a year to Jackson. Our present tourism numbers, we see 500,000 visitors a year. This will double tourism in our community. 350-room lodge with, it's a $250 to $300 million investment. So you'll see people from within a 5-hour radius coming to Jackson to stay here. Have any of you started asking this question? Give it 2 years. I have no idea, but what was funny is once inside our office, we kind of chart what question you get asked the most. Well, for about a month, In-N-Out Burger, where's it going? What's going to happen? When's it coming to Jackson? Folks, it's just a burger place. That's all it is. And I get it. If you travel, there may be a little bit better, but all indications are that the Jackson market is probably a 2027 construction. Don't know where it's going to go. Don't know who's going to do it. But they do have their eyes on this market. And when you think about 2027, think about what's happening. Great Wolf Lodge will open. Blue Oval City will have the first trucks rolling off the production line there. May have some new hotels downtown. There's a lot of things that happen in 2027, and I think we can all be very bullish on West Tennessee and what's going to happen. Found out when we took this trip, this is a picture of our day on the Hill in Nashville from 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was the first time we had done that since the 90s. And we took 35 people from Jackson in West Tennessee and met with our legislators and commissioners and other representatives from different departments. We do a very good job here staying in touch with Nashville, but when you can take this many people up there and be face-to-face, it makes a huge difference. And so this is something we will continue. If you weren't able to make the trip this year and you want to go next year, we encourage you to go with us. I'll let Logan provide you a few more details about what we've done and what's coming next.
Yeah, so to kind of echo what Kyle was saying, I think it's important for as many folks from Jackson to have a presence in Nashville. Because a lot of times, you know, our elected officials, our departments are inundated with requests, but the more of a presence that we have in Nashville, the higher that I think that we're on the list of their priorities. So I think going forward, as many people that can spend time in Nashville, I think the better for our region. So along the same lines of that, we are planning on a DC fly-in and a DC Day on the Hill this September, working with Denver Air to fly out of Jackson on a Sunday, charter the flight, have room for potentially 50 people, maybe a little more. So hold this date. I'm working with the Congressman's office, the Senator's office to work through the logistics, but have this on your radar moving forward. We'll probably publicly announce it for registrations sometime in June.
And speaking of Nashville, this is not something you'll see specifically publicized, but if you look at our social media posts, different things that we're doing, we're attaching our brand more to Nashville. As all of you know, Nashville is growing. When people think about Tennessee, they think about Nashville. Nashville has been so successful over the last decade and a half that Middle Tennessee circle is now expanding out to Jackson and to Cookville. There are people looking at investments from around the world and people in Nashville that are looking at investing in Jackson because of our proximity to Nashville. So you'll see us up there more. You'll see pictures. You'll see folks from Nashville here more often, but that's what we want our brand to be attached to, and it's Nashville. We often refer to ourselves now as the capital of rural West Tennessee. I've had some other folks say, well, won't you just call yourself the capital of West Tennessee? And so, well, that's kind of picking a fight with that other large city here in West Tennessee. But we do act as a capital, and we are a leader, and we're going to act that way. And you'll see us, like I said, in Nashville more often. And if you're coming back from Memphis, before you get to Blue Oval City, you'll see a billboard that says, I'm moving to Jackson. And so that is targeted to a lot of the folks working at Blue Oval City that have a choice about where they live. That takes us directly back to our Move to Jackson TN website. That was funded by West Tennessee Healthcare, Jackson Energy Authority, City of Jackson, and Madison County. But that website, if any of you have not visited, I encourage you to take a look at it. Share it with folks who are looking at moving to Jackson, or if you just want to spend time on it and learn a little bit more about what's happening here. I'm going to let you have it.
Okay. So obviously the city and the county has done a lot of work with housing and multifamily development. And so the city does provide this data to us. And as you can see, we continue to grow with new housing units that are coming in, new investment that's coming in. And I think Kyle would echo me in saying that the main thing that we need in Jackson and Madison County moving forward is more single-family housing, more attainable housing. And anything you'd like to share on that?
Yeah, Jackson, for us to continue to grow, we've got to have more single-family homes. The apartments are coming. Well, obviously, many of them are already here. There's more on the way. But that single-family construction must take place, and it's got to be across all price points. You know, there was an old terminology, affordable housing. Now it's attainable. Because if you look at a lot of the homes now that were affordable 5-10 years ago, they're no longer attainable. So a lot of the work that we're seeing done downtown, Chris is here, we've got to keep that up. We've got to support that. We have to see it all across the community because people are going to move to where they can afford and attain those houses.
Everyone is aware of the jet out at the airport. And so to kind of bring everybody up to speed, it's a 50-seat jet flying 6 days a week in the mornings to Atlanta, returning, and then flying to Chicago O'Hare around 11:15. What's extremely important about this opportunity is it's a federal subsidy. So the flight is about $175 round trip. So it's extremely affordable. There's TSA in Jackson. You can check your bags. It can continue on to your destination. But this jet will be here for 4 more years, and we have to fly on it to show that we support it, and hopefully Denver Air will rebid in the next 3 or 4 years. These are some numbers that the airport provided that shows their recent success. We had a small dip in February compared to prior years. I think that's just the weather-related activities, but anything that you can do to share this with your network will be extremely beneficial to the community. Part of this is the goal of the airport is to be Tennessee's 6th primary airport. Now, what does that mean? What does primary airport mean? That means you have to have 10,000 passengers per year. We're floating at around 5,000. So if we're at the current trend now, we would hit the 10,000 threshold. That means more federal dollars flow in to the tune of about $1 million more a year to help the airport reinvest in future growth, more infrastructure, and more development.
So before we get to some questions, a couple other people I see in the audience I want to point out. I have the honor of serving on the Tennessee Board of Regents. We just held our quarterly meeting last week in Nashville. A lot of you know what's happening out at Jackson State. Let me tell you, it is being recognized across the state. We are absolutely killing it here, and I think Dr. Rostein is speaking either next week or in a couple of weeks, but just know that Jackson State is killing it here, and it's that institution has always been important to us. It's becoming even more important now as we continue to grow, and it's really phenomenal what is happening out there. And they're sitting next to each other. Sherry Freeman, never underestimate the impact of the symphony when we're recruiting companies to Jackson. Because when we point out about the arts in Jackson, how important it is, and we talk about the symphony, their mouths kind of drop open because when you look at the population of Jackson and how big we are, most people that aren't from here don't equate that with a town this size. So it is a huge selling point. So continue to support the symphony and all arts for that matter, because even though I'm not an artist, I can't sing, I can't play, I can't draw, just like a lot of you in this room, but that attracts people to communities. And so we have to continue to support the arts and then grow this community in that way.
The program you've been watching was made possible through the generous financial support of West Tennessee PBS viewers like you. Please visit westtnpbs.org and make a donation today so that we can continue to make local programs like this possible. Thank you.
It's all about home.